There we go. I always forget the sound on YouTube every single time. All right, let's start over then for you guys watching on Facebook Live and Periscope. Hey guys, my name is Akil Stokes. I am a professional Forex trader. I am also a trading coach over at tradingpower.com. And what I wanted to do with you guys today was bring you a live episode of my trading blog. This has been a video that I've been doing more consistently this year. I try to do it about 4 times a week, really just allowing you to follow my journey as a professional trader and also address some questions that come up during my live trading room sessions and also here on my YouTube videos. Now, I mentioned this earlier, every time we do something live like this, especially on YouTube, I get the question, Akil, how can I get involved and blah, 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 this and that. I don't want to turn this into anything pitchy, right? So if you're looking for training programs, if you're looking for coaching programs and whatnot, there's a handful of it over at tradingpower.com. If you have any questions, you can just shoot me a message or shoot me an email. What I wanted to do today was really address a question that I got on Facebook. And I wanted to do it live because I think this is a question that may generate some pretty good discussion. Thank you. I'm glad to hear I'm doing a good job. It said, hey, Akil, when you pass through a drawdown, like the one from the beginning of the year, and a drawdown is a period where you're not making new equity highs. So your account is either going sideways or going downwards, meaning you haven't surpassed the previous highs in your equity curve. So Akil, when you go through a drawdown like the one from the beginning of the year, how do you manage your bills and your family needs? Do you apply any rule from the previous gains that say I can survive for this long and if trading won't go well for X amount of time, question mark. I really want to know how you handle it and how someone can handle it if he bases his income, his or her income, completely off of trading. And before I go ahead and answer that question, I want to take you guys back to kind of how my trading journey started. Many of you guys know my story, but you don't know the full story. And this is a common theme amongst traders where they think they know enough. And we see this in trading strategy and technical analysis as well, where traders think they know enough, but they don't. They only know enough to hurt themselves. And my story is an interesting one because I'm a trader that I didn't have any real educational background. I told a trader the other day, the closest I came to any educational background on finance is I was a business major in college. I barely passed an economics course, and I actually switched majors from being in the business into something else. So I zero background. And what happened was after I graduated from college, I got into stock investing. I was actually a pretty good stock investor, but because I didn't have a large sum of money and because it took so long to see a return on your investment in the stock market, it wasn't necessarily something that I can do to generate a consistent income for myself. And as I grew more passionate about the markets, I wanted to find a way to do so. And I had my best friend, he was a trader as well at the time, not trading anymore, but I think he dibbles and dabbles a little bit. My best friend at the time introduced me to the Forex market. And he told me the whole thing where, your money is leverage. You can make a lot with a little, the whole get rich quick scheme type of thing. The same reason that many of you guys heard about Forex. You can take a little bit of money and turn it into a lot of money in a small amount of time. And I went on to educate myself about Forex. I learned it. I thought I was learning it. I spent lots of time watching YouTube videos and reading books and whatnot. And I thought I knew everything there was to know about trading. And I would consistently go from a demo account king. Greystone just said he blew 36K himself. I went from a demo account king, meaning I was awesome when the money wasn't real, right? But then I was awesome when the money wasn't real. However, once the money became real, I consistently blew it. And I did this for maybe about a year and a half and never lost my passion for it. That's one of the cool things of how I know that I really love what I do is I tell traders, either if you're going to be in this industry, either you're crazy, right? Because many of us come into the markets and we just lose money. So either you're crazy for just mindlessly throwing your money away, right? or you love it so much that you would do it even if you're not making money. And in many cases, even if you're losing money, you continue to come back into the markets each and every day trying to figure out this game. And it's that was me. And eventually, I kept really half-footing my trading, meaning that I never took it as serious as I needed to take it in order to be a successful trader. I would put just enough effort to be a little bit good, but never go full out. And there came a time where I just decided, to quit my jobs, right? I quit. I was working 3 jobs at the time, right? I was working in the school district with children that had mental and behavioral health issues, so trying to help them get on the right track. I was working as a track and field coach at a local university. And I was also moonlighting as a janitor, cleaning, right? Having the luxury of cleaning banks and preschools, right? And daycares. Fun stuff, right? Fun stuff. And what happened was one of my contracts wasn't getting renewed that summer. And I decided to quit my other 2 jobs, right? I decided to quit my other 2 jobs because I knew that the only way for me to take the trading thing seriously was to make it my only option. The only way to, and this has just kind of always been my mindset, the only way for me to become successful was to put my back against the wall and make it so failure wasn't an option. I had to be successful or I was going to die, or I was not going to make it. And that's kind of, again, that's the way I operate. Me knowing myself, I make excuses as long as I have the option to make excuse. When I give myself no option to make excuse, I go all out. And many people hear that story and they're like, oh, Akil, that's me. So I can just quit my job right now, become a full-time trader right away and make lots of money. And no, right? The part of the story that you guys don't listen to, you tend to ignore because it's not the fun part, is that this was all planned in advance. I didn't just wake up one day and say, hey, Trevor, Mr. Davis, quitting my job. See ya. Like in the movies where you just run in there, you throw your shirt down and be like, I'm done. Right? It wasn't one of those deals. It was something I thought about for a long time, and I mentally prepared myself. I also financially prepared myself for that adjustment, right? I knew that trading wasn't going to come right away. I knew that success at trading wasn't going to be instantaneous. I knew it was going to take a while. So I made sure to put the proper funds in place in order to prepare to not make a lot of money or not really make barely any money for a long period of time. And I was able to do so. Again, I had very good success in the stock market. So despite me blowing a few accounts, I did have a good amount of money I can put to the side. Many of it was planned. The plan was to put it in the trading account, but many of it kind of went into like a nest egg for safekeeping. And at the time I was single, right? I wasn't married. I didn't have any kids. I was living in a property that I owned. I owned a duplex. I had just started my real estate business. So I'd owned a duplex. I was living with 4 roommates. So I was paying nothing in rent plus getting rent from my roommates and the other tenant. So my living expenses were very minimal. So I was able to take that. I was able to calculate how much do I need to live? I'm talking bare minimum stuff, meaning how much do I need to pay bills? How much do I need to eat? No going out to the club, no buying myself fancy things. Just what do I need to eat? What do I need to survive? And I planned out and I saved that amount of money over the time in which I thought it would take me to be successful. So it's not as simple as just, waking up, quitting your job, and then relying on your trading income. You have to prepare for the worst. You have to prepare, as if you're not going to make anything. And the same thing goes for you guys that plan on going pro. It sickens me. And I know it's not your fault. Many of you are not informed, but there are so many people out there I talk to, and they're talking about, hey, Akil, I have $1,000 account. Can I go full-time trading? And it's like, no. In my opinion, if you want to trade full-time, right? If you want to trade full-time, I always say at least $200,000. I know it hurts. It's going to be different depending on your lifestyle, obviously, but at least $200,000, because you need to be prepared. Like this trader said, you need to be prepared to go long periods of time without making a return, right? We know that in trading, although we do our calculations, we do our back testing, we have our live trading, we know what we should be making each year, right? We know what our yearly percentage is going to be each year for the most part. We can have a good idea. However, what we don't know is how it's going to come. So let's say I'm a trader that produces 40, 50% a year, right? So I know at the end of the year, whatever I have in my account, I'm going to make half of that, right? What we don't know is is that going to be a consistent, right? Is that going to be a consistent mark month after month after month? Or am I going to have 4 months in a row where I really struggle, followed by 3 months that are really, really, really good? And the problem, if you're relying on your month-to-month trading income to pay for your living expenses, right, is that when you're making money, it's all good, right? When you're making profit, you can take your profit out, you can put it into the bank, you can pay what you need to pay for, right? Easy peasy. When you're losing money, however, guess what, right? When you're losing money and you also have to take money out of your account, what's happening then? What is that doing to your account? And yeah, 200,000. I honestly think if you want to be comfortable, you need about 200,000 if you're going to rely on trading for your sole purpose of income. Right? So if you have a month where you have a poor drawdown, let's say you lose, let's say you're a trader that has a $10,000 account, right? And you're banking off of a 3% return, right? You're banking off a 3% return or something like that. Let's just put a number. Let's say you lose, right, $500 that month. Let's say you also need to take $1,000 out of your account that month in order to pay for bills, right? What does your account go to? You basically had a $1,500 drawdown. You guys follow me? Right? You lost 500 in the market. You took 1,000 out to pay for bills, right? Give me a yes if you're with me. You've lost $1,500. Now, in many cases, right? In many cases, if you're following a money management system, right? Let's say you do that 2 months in a row. What's happening to your position sizing, right? Are you still trading a consistent position size, or are you probably going down to the next level? Right? You're probably dropping down to the next level, right? And what that means is position size is the position that you're trading in the markets, right? How many dollars per pip are you betting? Are you spending? So as you go down in position, as your account size goes down, as your position size goes down, right? It now takes more effort to obtain the same result. So in order to get back to where you were before, you have to basically produce double, which is a lot easier said than done. And what happens is you get in the cycle of just slowly bleeding your account, slowly bleeding your account. You're not able to produce at the same rate in which you need to take money out to live, and your account gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller until either you blow it because you've just drained it all, or you start getting emotional. You start saying, I got to do more. I got to produce more. I'm going to start doubling, tripling my position size because I got to get a hot streak, and then you blow your account that way. Either way you look at it, you end up blowing an account. That's typically how it works. So the key is you want to put yourself in a position where you don't have to remove money from your trading account each month, where you put yourself in a position where you have enough set to the side where you can trade, you can go through a rough patch, because every trader is going to go through a rough patch. I don't care who you are. At some point in time, you're going to go through a drawdown, right? Where you can go through that rough patch and you don't have to rely on taking money out of your trading account to pay for your living expenses, right? And there's a few ways to handle that. You know, you can put enough to the side in the beginning, right? Before you start getting in trading, instead of opening a $20,000 account, you say, hey, I'm going to put $6,000 away, $10,000 away to the side as my emergency fund, right? Or if you're, or you can have, you know, again, supplemental income. You can do something else, a real estate business. You can still have part-time hours. That way you can rely on your part-time job or use trading as your part-time job. And you can use that as a way to produce income without touching your account. This is why so many traders get into education. They work for prop firms. They get into money management. They run signal services, right? Because it gives you that balance. there's a big thing on a big thing you always see on the internet, right? Where it's like every teacher out there, if you're in trading education, if you run a signal service, the only reason you do so is because you can't actually trade, right? If you could really trade, you wouldn't be an educator, or you wouldn't run a signal service, or you wouldn't have to work for a prop firm. If that ain't the biggest bunch of baloney I've ever heard, I'll tell you what, right? In general, right? Diversity is good, right? It is good to have different businesses. If you have a business that produces a consistent profit to go along with your business that produces maybe an erratic profit, right? It just evens things out. Now you can take money out of your supplemental income, no matter what that is, right? You can use that to help pay with bills, help pay for, family expenses, family needs, right? And you can leave your trading money in your account and slowly grow your trading account, and use that as more of an investment type of deal, instead of consistently taking money out of your trading account and going from, hey, 10% return to break even, 10% return to break even, 10% return to break even, instead of doing a lot of work and not seeing any benefit from it. Right. And that's what we teach our traders. We teach them the skill of trading. That way they can grow a business. Doesn't matter what that business is, but you can use this skill of learning how to trade, right? And you can grow it as a business where you can have multiple streams of income. Right. If you guys ever get a chance, make sure, read some financial books. The Richest Man in Babylon, right? Great book. I think in general, this whole premise comes from people don't know how to budget. People, I know here in the States, we don't teach it, right? We don't teach balancing a checkbook in school. We don't teach budgeting in school. It's a skill that many of us don't grow up with. So many of us don't know how to protect capital, right? Many of us don't know how to become wealthy, right? The key to being wealthy is very simple, right? My trading mentor, my business mentor as well, Jason Stapleton, always says this, right? There's two things you need to know about becoming wealthy, about building wealth. One, right? Spend less than you make. Don't spend more than what you make, right? So whatever you have coming in as income, make sure you don't spend more than that, right? That's number one. That's the easiest way. If you spend less than you make, you will start growing your account. Secondly, invest in something you know. Now, if you're a trader, you are your own investment, right? You're investing in yourself and using yourself to manage your accounts, your funds. If you're not a trader, you can invest in the stock market. You can invest in a 401k, an IRA. You can, whatever is out there. But we don't teach that lesson on how to be smart managers of money. And I'm not going to get too deep into that topic because I think it's a whole conspiracy theory about making us rely on the government and blah, 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 like that. But it all starts there. People not being smart, people assuming they can make a certain return and not giving themselves any type of safety net to rely on. And then when they get into trouble, there's nothing to land on. And instead of bouncing off the net and climbing back up the hill and trying again, they fall flat on their face and they die. So that's it for today's trading blog, guys. I apologize for not having a chance to see all the questions. I know we've been all over the place. If you have them, if you have some, type them in now. If not, you can always leave a comment under the YouTube video. I do look at every single comment and respond to them. But if you have some, shoot them in now. And I'm on a lot of places right now. But if I see them, I'll try to answer them. And thank you. We have a few people saying you guys watch all of my videos. I really appreciate the support. Everyone here at Trading Power really appreciates your support, guys. I think we have the greatest trading community out there, not just the clients we work with, but for you guys that follow us on YouTube, on Twitter as well. I know Jason Greystone would say the exact same thing. So we try to create a good atmosphere of the reality of trading and not all this, hey, check out my Lamborghini and check out my private jet and buy my system and you can have this too in a matter of months. Trading is hard. It's a grind. It's frustrating. You can ask my wife how many days I walk around the house and I'm just pissed off. And she's like, what's wrong, babe? I'm like, man, the market's got me today. It's frustrating. But it's also very rewarding. It can be very, very, very rewarding. And I think anyone that's been trading for a long time, you guys have done the same thing. I like gold. I don't trade gold. I'm a hard asset investor in gold. So I've got a few gold coins that I keep for doomsday. But I'm a fan of gold. Do you know how much the London close strategy? Do you know much I do not. That's a perfect question for Jason Greystone, though. I know he has a video coming out soon on YouTube. I know he teaches that strategy in his Forex Basics course as well. How much would you recommend people to start with trading full time? Now, again, if you're saying full time, meaning nothing else, no side job, no, few extra hours being a bouncer, a few extra hours working at a gym, I would say $200,000. Which here's an easy way to calculate it, right? Figure out how much you need to live. Figure out how much you need to live. Figure out your average return, right? Based on your back testing results. And then price in, right? Price in you wanting to take at least half of that average return and roll it back into your account. But I say 200,000 because look at this, right? I'm horrible at math. But let's say shoot me an average return that you guys, hey, what's going on, Owen? Shoot me an average return that you guys would be happy with, like a realistic average return per month. And again, when I say per month, this is average per month. It never comes, hey, 3% each month. It never comes like that. It comes 10%, it comes 13%, it comes negative 7%. What's an average return percent-wise you would be happy with? 10% a month. I've got 10% a month there, right? Now, in the trading industry, here's what's routinely thought, right? Tony says $1 million per month. $1 million, right? If you can average 2% a month, you're considered a good trader. If you can average 5% a month, you're considered one of the best traders out there. That is typically what is considered to be the range between good and great trader. So keep that in perspective when you guys are thinking, hey, 20% a month. It may not be as realistic as it seems. Now, when you put some money management strategies in there, you can make some big differences, right? You can easily return, right? You can easily make a 30% return a year with a good money management system. You can easily make that from 30 to about 50 to 60 if you're doing things, depending on how aggressive you are. But let's just say 5%, right? So let's say you start with a $200,000 account, right? And you're making 5% a month, right? That's $10,000. Now, if we went with what I just said, how you want to put half of that into compounding your trading account, that means you're left with $5,000. So the question is, can you survive the year? Can you pay all of your expenses and treat yourself as well with $5,000 a month? What do you guys think? Is $5,000 a month enough to pay mortgage, car note, bills, kids' schools, and all that stuff? Some people are saying no. It's going to depend on your lifestyle. Some people are saying no. Some people are saying yes. But keep in mind, guess what? That's with a $200,000 account. If you take that same number and cut it in half, right? You're doing a $100,000 account. Guess what? Now you've got $2,000. That's going to eliminate a much higher percentage of the people that can afford to live on that much per month. If you have a $50,000 account, guess what? Even less. Now you're looking at basically $1,000 a month that you have to survive on. Do you see how it's not as easy as it seems? Some of you guys have mortgages, right? Some of you guys have mortgage payments that are more than that. I know my mortgage payment is more than that. Don't overlook how much you need to actually survive. So take some time, really dig into your personal finances, really dig into how much you need to live, right? And always overestimate, right? If your electric bill is $200, right, a month, make it $300, right? Overestimate, right? Over prepare. The worst case you can have is you have extra money lying in your pocket. But really dig deep into your finances, figure out how much you need to live, really dig deep into your trading results, a realistic view of your trading results, see how much you can actually produce. And you can start adding up the number of how much minimum I would need to trade if you want to go full time. Most people aren't trading full time. They're using it as a supplemental income. And then as they grow their business, right, now you have different revenue sources that you can throw back into your trading account. Carlos says, what about traders that work full time? What are the possibilities to make a good enough return? But there's no time versus money aspect in trading. This is another myth, right? Where the more time you spend in front of your charts, the more time you spend in front of the market, the more money you'll produce. I should say it like this: the more time you spend in front of the charts, the better the faster you're gonna grow your skill of trading. Yes, but it doesn't necessarily mean you produce more profit. The person that spends an hour in front of their charts doing analysis can make more money than the person spending 7 hours. In fact, I would argue that the more time you spend in front of your charts, the less money you're going to produce. Oh my gosh. Did he just say that? The more time you spend in front of your charts, the more likely you are to make a mistake. The more likely you are to make a mistake, the more likely you are to blow your account. So you can certainly be have a full-time job and be a trader. You just have to work your trading around your hours. And it may take a lot of extra work. It may take waking up 4 o'clock in the morning and doing your analysis before going into work. It may mean sneaking off to a computer during your lunch break and managing your position. It may mean staying up late at night and making sure all of your analysis is done before you go to sleep. But it's certainly doable. Certainly doable. That's the great thing about the Forex market, especially 24-hour market. It's always open. The good and the bad thing, I guess. It's always open. Yeah, you don't have to sit there the whole time. It's a very good question. Join great Jason Greystone for the night session. Booka booka wow wow. The Stone Zone. Why'd this deal pop up? Something popped up on me. There he goes. All right. Just checking the YouTube. I've been ignoring the YouTube questions. If you have Forex and binary are two different things. Gotta hustle, find time. Yeah. If it's important, you'll make time. Many of you have heard my story about the Xbox guy. That's the greatest example. Spoke to a guy before. He said, Akil, I hear you guys talk about back testing all the time. Is that something I really need to do? And I'm like, yeah, yeah. He's like, well, does it take a long time to back test? I'm like, yeah, it does. And he's like, so you're telling me if in order for me to back test, I'm gonna have to give up my time playing Xbox? I'm like, yeah, probably. He's like, I don't think I want to do that. You guys laugh, but I mean, I'm proud of this trader for being honest. This trader told himself, I'm not willing to make that sacrifice. I'm not willing to do what needs to be done to be successful. And many of you guys, oh, he's a quitter, he's bad, how can he do that, right? Guess what this trader didn't do, or hopefully didn't do. I don't know. He didn't waste a lot of time and money doing something that he's not going to be successful with. Many of you guys will waste so much time, right, half-assing your training, right, half-assing your approach to the market. And you'll waste a lot of time, you'll waste a lot of money, end up blowing an account and quitting, right? You'll waste 5 years of your life, right? And blow a lot of money just to figure out this isn't for you. At least this trader right now said, oh, I'm not willing to be dedicated enough. This isn't for me. And he saved himself time and money to do something else. This isn't a game, right? We call it a game all the time because I'm a big sports guy, but this is real life, guys. This is real money at stake. This is real money changing hands. And this is the most aggressive market out there. And the market's main agenda is to cause as much pain to as many people as possible. And if you don't come in with the right approach, if you don't come in and take this seriously, you are going to donate your money to someone else. It will take your money from you. Trust me, I've been there. Jason Greystone's been there. Every one of you have most likely been there. This market will take your money. Either you approach it seriously or you don't approach it at all. And you have to make that decision. If you're not going to take it seriously, it's going to sound cruel, but you should quit right now. You should quit right now. If you're not going to take it seriously, you should quit right now. If you are going to take it seriously, make sure you do something about it. Put yourself in the position to succeed, right? After I quit my 3 jobs, the first thing I did, I said, I need to find someone that can teach me. I had someone teach me how to do the stock investing. I need someone to teach me Forex. And I found someone. I found someone that was willing to teach me. I took a look at the price of his education. It was steep. I said, man, do I really want to pay this much? I'm a cheap person. I'm a very frugal person. I said, do I really want to pay this much? Right. And I asked myself this question, Akil, are you going to be successful? Yes. No hesitation. Yes. Because I'm a winner. Winners win. Right. I win at everything I do because I don't give up until I win. Am I going to be successful? Yes. Am I going to return, right, more than my initial investment? So the training course I took cost about, I think it was $4,000. Will the skill that I learned return me more than $4,000 in the future? Yes. No brainer. No brainer. Now, it took me a while. I didn't take my education as seriously as I needed to at first. And it took me losing a lot more money to figure that out. But eventually it paid off. And I'll tell you what, I may have made a little more than $4,000 back in my trading career. I've been doing this for 10 years now. Right. But it came down to asking myself, am I going to take it seriously? And if you're going to take it seriously, you go all in. You do everything possible to put yourself in a position where you can be successful. And if you know you're not willing to do that, just stop right now, because you're just going to waste time. You're just going to waste money. Routine is very important. Routine is very important. So, all right. Well, that escalated pretty quickly. That escalated pretty quickly. We're going to shut things down, guys. I got the Jason Stapleton program starting in a little bit. That's part of my routine. I like to catch that and stay up to date with the news topics that are out. But I really appreciate you guys joining me. This was fantastic. Maybe we'll do it more. Yeah, just leave me a comment. Let me know if you liked it. Maybe we'll do the live version of this more. And of course, for you guys asking about training programs and coaching programs, just head over to www.tradeempowered.com. Everything's laid out there for you. And of course, you can shoot me questions if you have any of those about it. I see one more question. It says, please answer. Go ahead. You're the last one. I will especially wait for you. What is your final question? We want more. We want more. Well, leave me a comment under the video and let me know. This is recorded. It'll be on YouTube. So do me a favor, hit the like button over there. Recommend this to a friend. I'm trying to hit 50,000 subscribers this year. Just a cool number. All right. You said you had a question for me. It's not coming in, so we're going to shut things down. All right, gang. Oh, there it goes. 5 years of historical data and 200 trades on hourly, enough for back testing. Yeah, sounds good for me. Yep. I think that is quite enough. Yeah. Just make sure it's per pair per strategy, not total. It should be per pair per strategy. It's not just 200 random trades, right? It needs to be per your specific strategy, per that specific pair. What's your favorite pizza topping? Awesomeness. Bacon, Tony. Now that we talked about it this morning, bacon. That's why I'm in such a good mood, having my bacon this morning. It's been a while. All right, guys. Until next time, play your trade your plan. Take care, and I appreciate you guys joining me for this. Facebook done. Boom. Periscope done. Boom. YouTube done.